Hello, all new people. We don't normally go live everywhere, but now we do. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Twitter. Hello, YouTube. And hello, Twitch. We'll be live at the top of the hour.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of XboxEra Headlines. The date is April 23rd, 2024. And Jesse and I are here to be talking through all the latest in gaming news from across the industry. As a bonus for our patrons, we'll be making audio versions of these episodes available to them via Patreon for use in their preferred podcast app. But if you're on Spotify, you can link your account to Patreon and listen to it right there. For the first time of headlines, and I think in XboxEra history, we're streaming to multiple platforms all at once, including Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. I mean, X, whatever you want to call it. Jesse, how are you?
You forgot Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Not that there's anyone there.
Did I say Facebook? I'm sure I said Facebook. Did I forget Facebook?
I wasn't paying attention. But there's not a single person watching on Facebook. There's one on Twitch.
But that's because that's where the boomers are, and you guys are all the cool kids.
There's 114 watching right now on Twitter. Hi, Twitter.
Wow. Yeah, this is, I mean, do we say X?
No, no one says X.
No one says X, right? No one says X.
Not a single person.
I kind of said X in the tweet though, like because
I mean, if you want to make Elon happy, I guess.
I don't want to make Elon happy. I'm just being honest.
There's only one negative about all this. I have to use the old codec because that is all Restream supports. H.264. So hopefully it looks okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it looks fine.
Yeah, it's 5K bitrate. Once I have my good internet back, we'll go back to the 1440p 20K bitrate goodness we used to do. That's July.
Brit, YouTube moderator, forum moderator, and XboxEra YouTube member says, "Hello, Xbox. Those watching on previously known as Twitter."
we had our first Twitter message, which was IRL Game saying hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
I could put a super chat into the screen now that shows all the chats. That is a thing they do offer.
We'll think about it. I like
it's a little busy.
Personally, I like an uncluttered stream.
Me too.
You know, because you're not here to read everybody else's chat. You're here to see, obviously.
It would be cool if everyone could see what everyone else is saying, but I don't know that outside of giving everyone our Restream login, I don't think they can.
Let's not do that. That would be
Nick would want.
That would be carnage.
They're like, oh, well, you can't trust people.
No, you cannot. You cannot trust people at all.
We could stream to Kick. We have one more, but I haven't done it. I want to do the joystick, and then we can show the joysticks. Joystick.tv allows full nudity and porn.
But I don't want to do that. I don't.
Nick always talks about wanting to do it.
I need an adult.
We're trying to become a bigger business. If we can really push a Nick OnlyFans, like that can be his job. Bam, Bob's your uncle. Millions a month.
Cheeseworks, the man that says smash that like button, has pointed out a severe oversight on your part.
What?
Jesse, a severe oversight. One that I feel needs to be corrected urgently.
Oh, it didn't get saved. Oh, yeah, okay.
That's weird.
So
well, I'll let you work on that while I start talking about the point of the show, which is video game news. Jesse and I were here every Tuesday and Thursday to talk you through all of the latest in headlines. So before we jump in, I suppose a brief chit-chat about a little video game or two that dropped recently that you might have had a hand in reviewing. And I think the first one I can bring up is Tales of Kinzera Zao. Review dropped for that yesterday.
Yeah, it was,
you really
yesterday.
liked it.
I did. At first, a lot of others didn't seem to, which was weird. It was at like a 70 on OpenCritic. It's gone up to like 77-ish now. Really tight feeling, like good control, good pretty much everything. It looks nice, sounds real nice, music's incredible, voice acting's incredible, controls well, not too long. I beat it in just about 8 hours doing all the side stuff that I wanted to. Really nice story, which Nick wouldn't know because he told me he's been skipping every cutscene. Truly the biggest insult I think one could do to Mr. Abubakar Salim would be to just skip every single cutscene. Nick.
To just skip all of the heartfelt story in that game, that would be a
unreal
negative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah? Wow.
Fucking guy.
We're sorry about him, Abu.
We don't like him.
Can't take him anywhere.
Nope.
We don't like him very much.
This guy. Where the heck did I put Torn Raptor's? I got to remember where I put his crown. I got to get him back up there.
Yeah, get a crown on there for Torn Raptor. For those that didn't know, Torn Raptor is like, well, he signs all of our paychecks basically at this point. He is the grand benefactor on our Patreon. And if you enjoy what XboxEra does, you can support us directly by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra. It can cost as little as a cup of coffee a month, but it actually really does help us out. So we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it's the main thing. We're going to be having lots of stuff to try and do things as a company and whatnot.
Doing things
are really expensive.
Yes, lots. The other game you reviewed that it's kind of like a yin and yang, right? So you saw some slightly more lower scores coming in for Tales of Kenzera. And then you really liked that game, but then you also reviewed Topspin 2K25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not so much of a fan of that one.
No, I actively disliked Topspin 2K25. Really don't think it's a good tennis game. Nick agreed with me. That should have let me know I was wrong. The moment Nick is agreeing with you, it's the kiss of death, and everyone else is going to, for some reason, and I don't understand, because I played the hell out of the game. I played it a lot. I did not like a second of playing it. Like, I actively did not enjoy playing that game. And then it's times. Like it was 78 on OpenCritic, I think, right now. I gave it a 5, and I thought I would be on right around where most people were. But yeah, it's they're going for super technical tennis action, but I think it just doesn't actually feel good. It's very stiff most of the time because the game is kind of always setting itself up for its very nice looking animations. And so instead of it feeling like this is a tennis game and I'm in control of my tennis star, it's more like they're going to go where they want because based on the shot, and then I've just got to hit this meter correctly. And unless I hit the meter correctly, I can never win. And the meter time just changes all the time depending on what the animation's going to end up being. It can be a second to go full. It can be a tenth of a second to go full, and you never really know. And so you mostly are just watching this friggin' meter. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't have a very good roster. The career mode is only for your creative player. You can't do anything with regular tennis players as like a tournament or anything.
I calm things before this turns into a rant. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. As long as if you want to read Jesse's full thoughts on both Tales of Kenzera Zao and Topspin 2K25, you can head over to XboxEra.com for all of the latest in video game reviews. And with an Xbox slant, where we
very soon. And I'm sorry, Tales of Kenzera Zao PC, Another Crab's Treasure also PC, but I did just get the Xbox code for that one, so I'll add to the text how it runs on Xbox if I can get the time. Should be able to.
Nice, I like it.
And the next thing is Little Kitty Big City.
You're very excited about that one.
And then I just put in for Indica, which was that like weird nun horror game one they showed at the Triple I thing. That's all from Christ. I can't remember the name of the smaller company, but they're 11-bit, I think, and they might have accidentally or on purpose dated that Alters game. Sounds like that's coming in August. They were like, we've got this coming out in July, and then a couple weeks after that, Alters. So that'll be another Xbox game to give a date for Game Pass.
Cool. I just realized I've made a critical error. As I said at the beginning of the show, this is the first time that we're streaming to multiple platforms all at once. Normally, we're just kind of YouTube-centric, right? But we recognize that we've got a fairly substantial following on the old Twitter.
We have 300 people watching right now, John.
On Twitter? I mean, that's lovely. Like, we'll take that.
201
but then
on
I realized
Twitter,
that
91 on YouTube.
Instead of opening up the portal that gives me all of them in one hit, I've foolishly tried to open up like Twitter over here. And
yesterday just made this Restream account. It's yours. You can just
I will do this slowly when you're next talking a lot. So let's kick that off, shall we? In other news, I just saw in the YouTube chat that Frank Carbaria, I've just massacred your name, and I wouldn't blame you for immediately cancelling the apparent Patreon subscription that you just signed up for. Please don't. But a big thank you if that is the case and you have signed up. I would wholeheartedly recommend you head over to forum.xboxera.com to get access to our Patreon lounge where the community questions go up every week for the mainline Xbox Era podcast. And of course, head over to discord.gg Xbox Era, because you also get access to secret channels in our Xbox Era Discord where Jesse gives away a load of games all the time. So, like, you should probably do that.
And I'm going to wave and say hi to Twitter chat, because we're not allowed to type in Twitter chat. Oddly enough, we can type everywhere else.
I'm in the Twitter chat.
Not through Restream. I'd have to go into Twitter itself, yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of doing the right thing. Okay, first up in the news, IGN have teamed up with the Idea Xbox team for another showcase. I feel like we just had one, but we're doing another one. April 29th. We will be co-streaming this. I'm curious at what they're going to show. Any thoughts? Any ideas?
He says executive producer. Do we have another executive producer? Do we once again have to change our things? Let me see. But yes, so these are, they have mostly been doing these with Twitch before. They were really long, and they'd have a bunch of good games in them, but they were the Twitch format, and Twitch's format is just talk, shoot the shit, be real cringe, and go for like 3.5 hours. And now with IGN, it's more the playlist that people like, where it's just a straightforward bunch of stuff, let you know, you're in, you're out, bibbity bobbity boop. Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love in and out, bibbity bobbity boop, like bed knobs and broomsticks. No.
Yes.
What am I thinking?
Welcome to new executive producer, Frank Caballera.
Wow. Okay, Frank, that's a big deal. You get loads of cool stuff, so I don't feel terribly about it. In fact, I'm really pleased for you because you get access to like all of the really cool stuff. Plus, I have to also re-render our big thank you to the executive producer tier that we show every Saturday.
I'm going to put Frank C in the executive producer tier. It won't show up on this until like the whole thing's refreshed, but we love you in our hearts.
Yeah,
right here.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like indie games for me,
our
bread
number
and
one.
butter. Yep, number one in my heart of hearts, indie games. I'm hoping for like, and I have no idea what they're going to show, right? But I do want to see more on Replaced as an example.
I'm not a moron. Oh, never mind.
I want to see more on Replaced.
I'm really curious on that. Is one I'm super curious on because obviously with the whole war in the Ukraine and everything and then moving.
Yep.
Never know. I wouldn't expect it, but it would be really cool to see it.
Like it.
Yeah, and then
but then
because I'm the one that gets the code, I'll pretend that it doesn't come in, and then I'll just do the review like I want to.
I see how it is.
Hey, you took Hellblade. Okay. I'm going to steal Replaced from you.
I'll fight you. I also really want to hear more or see more on A Plucky Squire. That is another one that is definitely way high up on the list of fun video games to play. Yeah, like bring it on. Like Idea Xbox for me is the regular highlight nowadays. There's loads and loads of games that come out every day, and I appreciate a lot of them are a lot smaller, but every now and then, there's a little gem. Anyway, next up in the news, Embracer is back again. They're not firing people. In fact, they've had 3 little babies. They have formed a bizarrely named hydra of new publishers. Asmodee Group, Coffee Stain and Friends, and Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends.
Which includes like Crystal and Eidos, I think. He said it's like Lars Wingerfurt seems like a guy who really wants all of this to work correctly, but might not know how.
But
because also this might not happen. I don't know. Their messaging and everything they do is just always feels so haphazard and thrown together. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the Asmodee Group is a global leading tabletop games publisher and distributor with an extensive studio network and intellectual property catalogue. Coffee Stain and Friends is a diverse gaming entity. I hate don't use pointless words. A diverse gaming entity with a dual focus on indie and AA premium and free-to-play games for
but
PC,
they meant diverse
console,
in
and mobile.
The level of budgets that certain things have.
Very poorly written. With a high degree of recurring revenues. Who is this for? I wonder. Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends, a creative powerhouse in AAA game development and publishing for PC and console, as well as the stewards of the Lord of the Rings and Tomb Raider intellectual properties, among many others. I mean, if you were working for Crystal Dynamics on Perfect Dark as contracted by Microsoft right now in partnership with the initiative, you'd just be like, please buy me. Please. But please, Phil, please. Just buy me and get me out of here. It hurts my feelings. I don't want to do it anymore. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you just...
Oh, yeah. I think they know they're a little stuck with the Amazon Tomb Raider deal.
Yeah, they are a little stuck.
Yeah. I mean, they've
That's
got
the problem when you...
Them and IDOS have multiple deals with Microsoft for Tomb Raider and Fable, and it would be nice. They're super talented. They're in hotbed areas for Iron Folk, which is always good. Like those are everyone's
the danger.
Dream. Yeah,
that's the danger of acquisitions and then fucking about with the company, because you know what that means. It means you just. All the cool talent will just be like, you know what? I'm still me. I'm just going to go work over at this other studio. And then you're left with a husk, a name of a studio only. And that is not ideal. You want to keep that culture and that team. So, hey-ho. Embracer, still doing weird things in the industry. But at least they've not fired anyone this week. So we can all say grateful things for that. Next up, Xbox... in a wonderful crossover that feels right on brand, is doing a mutant match made in heaven by partnering with X-Men 97 for a themed Xbox Series X, plus a whole plethora. What is a plethora? A whole plethora of controllers, although you only win one.
Metric butt
You
ton.
only win one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the American way of saying plethora. Metric butt ton. These look quite pretty, I suppose, don't they? If you're a big X-Men 97 fan, it's a good way to cash in on all that nostalgia. What more can I say?
And this one does seem open to more people than normal, where quite often these end up being
it's open
US
in
only.
every Xbox region, apparently. If you
So
go
not
and read the
Europe.
rules, it says it in there. No. If anyone from Xbox is watching, which you might think is a weird thing for me to say, but sometimes it's actually true. Xbox PR seem to have put the links in the article to link to the South Park Snow Day sweepstakes. Oops. So you might want to just correct that one. Just a heads up, a
little butt kisser.
I'll let you guys do what you got to do. But yeah, I mean, this is a perfect blend of franchises. I feel
the tweet, the clicking on it goes to the tweet now.
No, it wasn't the tweet. It's the rules to the sweepstakes. It's the link underneath.
Got it.
It's the link underneath. It
who cares about rules?
I know, whatever. But yeah, there you go. If you want to win that, you can go and retweet the aforementioned on-screen tweet that Jesse was just showing with the appropriate hashtag and be in with a chance. Be in it to win it, man. There you go. In other news, Fallout is still insanely popular, with game time skyrocketing across all platforms for Fallout franchise in general. The team over at Amazon Prime have released a little fact that I think Fallout did some crazy numbers, some crazy minutes in terms of time watched.
It was a Variety article.
Release.
I think it was from, it's normally the Nielsen ratings. So they do like online streaming ratings. Obviously,
this is Luminate streaming ratings, and this is from
so
Variety
fancy. Yeah.
via Cynthia Littleton. But yeah, she said Fallout spiked to more than 5 million views in its first full week in release, which accounts for 200. Where is this? 200 what?
It was 2.5 billion minutes watched.
There it is, across 8 episodes, 2.5 billion minutes, with a total running time of 473 minutes. That works out to 5.2 million views. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, because when you look at like Halo being a weekly release, it was getting about 230 million minutes watched a week. As the weeklies generally last longer in the ratings, but are much smaller. Fallout, that big drop, it's just like so far ahead of everything else right now. One of the most watched things ever this quick for Amazon. Like top, I think they said top 3.
They've got to be very pleased.
Yep, it's season 2's renewed and has a $150 goddamn $2 million budget. Heading over to California. Yeah.
Trav in the chat is just saying, Jess, try not to compare. Try not to compare Fallout.
It was a nice comparison of weekly versus binge. The Rand Al Thor versus the Paris, where you've got your weekly, you've got your binge.
And look, no offense to Paris when I say this, but Randall Thor is absolutely correct. Binging is the best way to consume anything, in that it purely allows me to have a freedom of choice on how much I want to consume. And
I know some people complain because it's like, oh, then I can't avoid getting spoiled. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever.
I have
tough shit.
I've been into plenty of shows, and it's so easy to avoid being spoiled.
But these people live online.
I unfortunately also tend to do that. But
we have almost 400 people watching between everything.
That's very nice. Hi, everybody. If you enjoy it, what XboxEra does, by the way, head over to XboxEra.com or patreon.com/XboxEra. You can support us directly. I even added a fancy button to the website today. It says it right at the top. If you love what we do, you can support us on Patreon.
You can be like Frank C, who just joined our essentially biggest tier. Like, boop. Hey, by the way, really like you. I'm like, thanks. Can pay my bills now.
I love it. I love it because we're actually here. We're just like everybody watching, So it's cool. What else? Star Wars Jedi Survivor is finally coming to EA Play on April the 25th, which means if you're an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate member
or PC Game Pass, they get it.
Oh, that too, yeah. Sorry, I appreciate the clarification. You can play the new, the most recent Star Wars game from Respawn.
One I
as part of your subscription. It was a bit buggy on console, certainly on release, and I think on PC as well. To be fair,
it was,
but it's had a number of patches.
PC. But yeah, so it wasn't. I got lucky. I didn't have it be buggy, but I did have like 20 FPS most of the time I played before a big patch hit day one. That patch hit. It jumped up to like the mid 40s, was whatever. Now it has gotten a lot better over time. I don't know that it's ever going to be truly fixed because of the way their Unreal Engine works, where it just ignores a lot of cores and shit. But I haven't heard major complaints about it. I guess we'll find out on Thursday, because Pour Another Crab's Treasure, which is coming out on Thursday, it's now going to contend with this coming to Game Pass Ultimate and Fallout 4 getting its next-gen patch. Poor little game.
Wow. That is some rough timing for those guys. But still, none of those games, apart from Another Crab's Treasure, have a cute little hermit crab in a variety of amusing shells.
Including if you want to cheat and put on the accessibility option, you can just give them a gun. And you just shoot the shit out of people. One shot them in the back.
That's probably how I'm going to play. Because I'm not a Dark Souls fan. Anyways, in some slightly sad news... Bethesda France has been shut down. I'm reading a variety of tweets that were collected together by a Resetera forum member named Smitch over on resetera.com. They're all in French, so I could do some sort of horrific French accent, but effectively, I believe this was a very small, sort of 15 to 20 person team called Bethesda France that I think were part of the marketing efforts and distribution out in France. And it looks like they've been shut down. The translation here from a Twitter user, and I presume developer from Bethesda France, Disastra on Twitter, says, Bethesda France, it's over. You probably saw it happening today, but it's over at the offices in France. That also applies to the Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout teams, among others. I'm going to use this tweet to say my public goodbyes to people with whom I wouldn't be where I am right now. I believe when they had the Elder Scrolls Online anniversary in Amsterdam, according to these messages. No one from the French team was on site. We know now why. But there we go. Wish them all the best of luck. It's clearly one of those things. It's just probably not a necessary team considering the scope and scale of Microsoft now.
Yeah, and how they've been
across the region.
They've been gutting in-house anything that has to do with like customer relations and whatnot. It's all going. Yeah, we don't know. Of course, the Resetera thread was immediately like, "Oh, for a company that's doing terrible in Europe," and it's like, "Yeah, I know. I mean, Jesus Christ, yes. Just how about you just feel bad for these people who have lost their jobs and don't try and immediately make it some console war dumbassery, you pricks." But they don't.
Yes,
that's all they do.
Yeah, that's a smart way to approach it. But yes, for Cheeseworks in the chat, what does it mean? I don't want to say it's just. Obviously, these guys felt they had important roles across Bethesda, but you could pretty much assume that it's not development towards games. So think community managers, support, stuff like that, marketing, etc. Mortain, XboxEra patron in the chat. Yeah, Xbox has too much marketing in Europe. Oh, you.
Now this, we know Bethesda and Microsoft are separate. So this
treated separate.
Yeah, we deal with Bethesda marketing for Bethesda stuff. Like I go to Bethesda when I got these Fallout codes on PC to play on Thursday because I wanted to try and mod it up, and then I realized, oh shit, they're patching it. All the mods are going to be broken because they hadn't announced the patch before I was going to mod it up, and I had started modding it up, and then they're like, oh yeah, patch coming, going to break all those mods most likely. So it is very weird to go to Bethesda's marketing and then John goes to Microsoft's marketing. It's
yeah.
And then there's still Blizzard
juggling act.
I go to Blizzard marketing for Diablo stuff. So
yeah, it'd be nice to have just one central point of contact, but these
just
things,
email
these
Phil.
things take
Say,
time.
Phil, can you send me over a code?
Hey, buddy.
He goes, sure, buddy. Boom.
Yeah.
What do you think that won't happen?
No, I don't know if you'd
Darn.
call me buddy. I don't know if you'd reply. This is an interesting one, and I think there's some discussion to be had here, Jesse. So
This one
brace
got
yourself.
really misreported. A lot.
Yes,
so
it
much.
did. Right.
I did a lot of reply tweets on this one.
So, via Games Industry Biz, and please keep me honest in my interpretations, because I probably didn't read all of your reply tweets. Via Games Industry Biz, published by byline by Brendan Sinclair, who's managing editor over there, Meta, Facebook, today announced some changes to its virtual reality business to make it a more open ecosystem for developers and users. First, the company said it will be making the operating system, so the OS that powers the Meta Quest and everything else, the Meta Horizon OS is what it's called, available to other companies to create third-party hardware. So let's pause. Let's just talk about that. So Meta Quest 3, which is Meta's most recent virtual reality release, is a standalone virtual reality console. Quick side note, it's really good. It's genuinely a fantastic piece of kit for the price. Yeah, yours is right there. I've got the similar Halo strap. Mine's got a battery pack on the back. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And this is effectively saying, yes, go and other developers can now make them use our operating system and effectively load their store. So this is effectively taking Meta Quest down the OEM route, right? Would you agree? That's kind of...
yeah.
And the reason I find this interesting is we've heard recently from Phil in the interview with Polygon a few weeks back about opening up Xbox and, all the potential of other storefronts. And I recall for a long, long time now, people have really wanted to have VR on Xbox, even though it's really doesn't sell like hotcakes, all right? As PlayStation have found out with PSVR 2. Indeed, as they now exploring allowing PlayStation VR to work on PC. But with the whole store thing, imagine this world, Jesse. I just want you to just follow me down this rabbit hole here. The new Xbox hardware comes out. It is indeed more open, more flexible. And boom, I can plug in my Oculus Quest or compatible Meta Quest powered OS, Meta Horizon OS powered device. And there's a Oculus storefront available on my Xbox. And indeed a PC Oculus Rift type storefront for wired virtual reality experiences straight off my console. Possible?
Possible, but they'd have jack shit because all Meta does now is built directly for the headset, and they don't really do much for PC.
So you really want to have Steam for that sort of thing, wouldn't you?
You would only help if it was you have access to Steam and it can read VR headsets, which are a pain in the dick to set up most of the time. So I don't know that they bother unless it is a Quest style inside-out single cable solution. But then it would have to be like completely on the user. You have to find a cable that actually works. We don't have any of the ports that can actually support that, so probably not. Because you need a very
I'm just saying new
you need
hardware.
a high data rate port. So unless they have like a 10 to 20 gigabit per second USB port on the next Xbox, it wouldn't work for wired VR. Not fast enough.
Yeah. Now, the thing that people really ran away with as part of all these announces was that
Xbox is
there
making
was
a
apparently
VR headset.
yeah, that was the misconstrued nature of this. And that's not what's happening, right? They are partnering with Xbox to make a themed Xbox-looking Meta Quest headset. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the story.
I've already hit up their PR and said, I'd love to cover that.
Yeah. It does support like I really need to do that video now. I think about it. I think things got so busy in that crazy changeover period that I never got around to doing a Quest video on terms of playing Xbox games in VR.
Mm-hmm.
I fail. I will resolve that situation soonish.
I've still got to do a review on this headset. I've still got to do a review on the Playdate. If you want to know the verdict on the Playdate, it's awesome. I love it. It's a cool little thing. It's really expensive, so I get it if people don't want to spend $200 on a little tiny turn crank thing, but it's super fun.
It's got a crank thing.
Yeah, it's got a ton of games. It's very fun, and also the Elgato 4KX, which I think I've had the box right. It's right there. Boop. That's the capture card I use. It's great. Very expensive, but
Nice.
full VRR. I can finally have VRR when I capture my Series X. So all really good. I'll try and type things up for them this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love VR when it's using the right things. And I think with the Meta Quest 3, the one thing I want to see more of is augmented or mixed reality games because they are so clever in some of the things that they can do. So more of that, please.
Forever Bowling lets you do mixed reality where you just set a lane in your house. And it's the coolest thing. I just wish I enjoyed playing that game more. Premium Bowling actually feels way better, but doesn't do that. So it makes me sad.
Well, maybe they'll get an update out. Anyway, next up, PlayStation in the news. Do you remember when Little Big Planet 3 servers had some problems and they were taken off temporarily in January to fix some problems? Turns out it's not so temporary after all. They're decommissioning all of those servers. As per a tweet from Wario64, Sony have confirmed that Little Big Planet 3 servers are not returning after January's outage. All content is now inaccessible officially. So just like that, all of that stuff that people made in Little Big Planet 3 is gone.
Like tears in the rain. You wouldn't imagine the creations I've seen. I could do the whole thing.
You could do the whole riff. You should. I should have just let you go.
No.
Sunbeams off of. In case any of you youngins are wondering what the hell we're talking about, it's Blade Runner. It's okay. I have to remember that.
A movie Nick hates.
Yes. Nick hates all movies
that are good. But yeah, it's the thing where I think we get spoiled with how good Microsoft is about trying to keep stuff. Like they kept Halo going forever when there was like 10 people playing it on the 360 versions.
Do you remember the story of the Halo 2 servers where they just like, yeah, we're just going to leave it running. Like you can't turn it off if we're online playing, and they kept it up for like a week and a half or something. It's brilliant. But yes, Microsoft are pretty good about that stuff.
Still a giant corporation, still not great because they're a company, but they've been browbeaten enough in public, especially after the 90s and early aughts, where they are afraid or they are just not willing to go for the bad PR of saving a little cash by turning things off. So yeah, we're lucky in that sense.
We are. but yeah, so sorry about that, Little Big Planet 3 fans. It's a bummer. I feel for you, as someone that makes stuff in video games.
Yeah, especially probably gonna have
Earlier on,
dreams too.
Yeah, probably. Earlier on, you mentioned movies. I just wanted to briefly mention for all of our new Patreon members, there is an exclusive Patreon and YouTube member only movie podcast with me and Nick and Jesse in the background, chatting through the latest movies. In fact, the most recent episode, we talked about Dune 2 and Late Night with the Devil. You can go check it out right now. You've got access. As soon as you're a Patreon member or a YouTube member, you've got access. So go do that. And I think we're going to do Monkey Man and another one soon.
Monkey Man, he's right there. I got the poster. The wife made sure to grab it when we went and saw it at the theater. Fantastic movie. Incredibly inclusive movie in a way that felt perfectly natural for the story, for that area as well. I'm sure people aren't yelling DEI about it because there's a guy, Dev Patel kicking the shit out of people a lot of times too. But
yeah, it was really looking forward to watching it.
It was a really good movie that had really good action, which John Wick never was. John Wick was a cool looking movie with incredible action and a whatever story. They killed my dog. It's like Keanu Reeves can't really act great, but he's cool. And you
leave Keanu alone, all right? You leave him alone.
He busts his butt on all the stunt work and everything, and he's awesome. But Dev Patel's actually a good actor, and so it really helps. And we have a super chat from one Tiberius Monk.
We do.
Please read.
He says, the best part of waking up isn't Folgers or coffee. It's XboxEra headlines with Sik and Jesse. Also, Blade Runner rules and 2049, for me, don't worry, you're correct on this, is a superior sequel. Viva la XboxEra. Woo! I fully agree.
Yeah, Blade Runner is such a perfect sequel that I can't not think of it as one long movie. Now, essentially, it was just such a good sequel where it's like, you have the experimental open and then the masterpiece close. It's like, it's so good.
It's such a good movie.
I could watch that movie 100 times a year.
Yeah. And Hipshot in the chat, June 2 was the first time I went to the movies in forever. It was great. Had to use up a gift card I had for ages. Yeah. I went to see June 2 twice. Like, that's the first since Return of the King in 2003. 20 years it spent for a film to make me go to cinema twice.
We spent extra on Laser IMAX, and it is the best movie experience I've ever had. Also, hello to the 465 people watching. How you doing?
Yes. So for an experiment, as this was the first episode, we set up all the technology yesterday with Restream to stream to multiple places at once. I think it's going rather well.
A lot of people do it because it is built into StreamYard, but we only use StreamYard for our teleconferencing. We don't actually stream through the service because I can't make it look all fancy with pre-dragging my stuff.
Yeah, we don't have all of the fancy things.
Yeah, so every stream I do from now on will be just sent everywhere because why not?
Yeah. Because we have the power, baby. And it's all powered by our community, as XboxEra is completely funded by you. Next up in the news, PowerWash Simulator hits 12 million players. That's pretty nifty. A lot of people loving power washing. This is a byline from Eurogamer, from reporter Victoria Kennedy. Power Wash Simulator has passed an impressive player milestone, really proving that a little dirt won't hurt. Earlier today, developer Future Lab announced 12 million players have donned their overalls, grabbed their hoses, and washed away more grime than ever thought possible since the game's early access release in 2021. Apparently, according to the developer, this is all thanks to the number of DLC expansions they've released from Warhammer 40k, Final Fantasy, and SpongeBob SquarePants.
It's been a mix too. So I've reviewed
did
almost
you even
all
get to
of them.
clean Tomb Raider's mansion?
So that was
mansion?
free. A lot of the Square Enix stuff, because they were published by Square, was free. So like Final Fantasy, Lara Croft's house, both free. Then the paid ones, SpongeBob really good, Warhammer really good. Though Warhammer has a lot of giant tanks, so it's really, you got to get in there. The base game just has an insane amount of shit. It's also, I've heard it's very fun in co-op. That could be one to do as a community thing, because I think you get like 8 people in at once, all just cleaning up. We might not have 8 people talking on stream, but we can have people jump in and play with us. But yeah, Power Wash is just one of those. Yeah, Back to the Future was really good. They've had a lot of DLC that's been very smartly set up It generally looks a lot like The Thing. When it's more realistic, like Back to the Future, it looks in their style. But when it was SpongeBob, it just looks like SpongeBob. When it was Warhammer, just looked like Warhammer. And you're just going through and cleaning shit up, and it's just very relaxing. It is a podcast game. Nice. And it's good dumb fun if you're with friends.
I did see as well, it's not in our news headlines rundown, but I'm going to report on it anyway because I'm doing things off the fly. Manor Lords celebrated another milestone yesterday. I believe it's become the most wish-listed game currently on Steam, surpassing 3 million wish lists on Steam. That's kind of crazy. But yes, Manor Lords, if you haven't heard of it, it is coming to PC Game Pass at launch.
In-game preview.
It's inspired...
Right? I think.
In-game preview, yeah. This is an early access title, so even on Steam, it's going to be early access. But Manor Lords is inspired by 14th century medieval life with a high degree of historical accuracy as it tasks players from humble village beginnings and then building an ever-growing feudal medieval empire.
2.95 million of those wish lists were from Europe. Mainly Germany.
I do not doubt it. But yeah, players can expect complex city building, production chains, and real-time combat when the game releases. And it's coming to Game Pass, as I said, so keep an eye on that. Even crazier, and this was in the press release I read yesterday, most of that development work is one dude. So the development team is called Slavic Magic, right? It's based out of Poland. But I was reading the press release, and there's a quote from Hooded Horse, who's the publisher, a guy called Tim Bender, who says, Slavic Magic has done amazing work. We're honoured and glad to be his publisher and help him realise his dream. And I was like, is that a typo? I had to go and research it. But no, it's mostly, I mean, I think he's had some assistance with like audio perhaps and other bits and pieces, but mostly one dude. One dude.
Man.
3 million wish lists. That's the power of indie gaming and indie developers.
He's impressive doing one thing, but I've had 3. I'm going to have 4 reviews this week.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, bro. 4 versus 3 million.
I got a text-only one for No Rest for the Wicked up. It's a really good base. They just need to clear up. Yeah, they just need to clear up this stuff around going back to town a lot, and then I think they are. They've been slowly but surely, constantly. That's why I didn't want to do a video, because it's not going to be the same game in a week, let alone a month, let alone 2 months. Like, just
wait until the 1.0 release for the video, and then you can talk about all the things that have changed.
And probably give it a 9 because it'll be incredible.
Yeah, because you do not sleep on Moon Studios. Like Thomas Mahler and team, they know what they're doing. We're coming up to the end of the news show. There's a couple more things to go through. Just a heads up, if you've never been here before, the headline shows are purposefully around an hour long, but particularly today because my son, who turns 10 tomorrow, is due back in 17 minutes, and there's family coming over for birthday soiree things. So it's a bit of a crazy week for me.
You get everyone sick.
Yeah. Rare introduced yesterday as part of Earth Day 2024 new sustainable workplace appropriately named Barn X. This was first commissioned back in 2020, and the 1,200 metre square building is on Rare's campus in Twycross, Leicestershire, and has solar panels that supply a generous chunk of the electricity. It's run entirely on electricity, the building.
Not coal powered.
The solar panel farm that it has in the no, not coal powered, that's run off of 750 square meters of solar panels in a nearby field. It's all timber, so it's not made out of like cement and things like that. It uses condensated water from chillers to help its flush toilets. It's kind of nuts. It's like it's a little greenhouse. And I wrote our article on this on XboxEra.com at the time, and I was like, sure looks like the right place to develop a game like Everwild in. And then lo and behold, I spotted a tweet from, I think the executive producer for Everwild, Louise O'Connor at Rare. She says, I can almost see my desk in this picture. So I'm like, right. The Everwild team are channeling these natural Earth vibes to produce Rare's next incredible game. So yeah, I'm intrigued, but yes, there you go. I thought it was kind of cool. Cool, nifty little insight. Rare's campus looks awesome.
Curious if it's a major fire hazard or not, but
I'm sure that it's all fire treated and stuff. But yeah, a friendly reminder for anyone watching, Rez Sea of Thieves is arriving on PlayStation 5 in 7 days. So,
and Xbox officially dies.
Or grows bigger than ever.
Yeah,
because that game's got 40 million players. Absolutely bonkers.
But it's going to look... What if it looks a little better on PlayStation?
The shadows might be like 0.1.
What if
0.1?
For some reason...
Then it's unacceptable.
What if for some reason a company does a comparison of 2 different versions of a game and it puts everyone up in arms and they start losing their shit? I know.
As I said on Twitter, what if the game that's being tested on PlayStation is a super recent build, and the one that's going to be updated for Xbox on the 30th of April to coincide with the PlayStation 5 release has fixed all of those supposed downgrades comparatively to the PlayStation version, and this problem exists for a mere 9 days. Like,
I know a lot of people don't like thinking about it, but it is the truth. It's like once something's out, unless there's no reason to go through and change a ton unless you are doing something like doing a port, because that's what happened with Pentiment. They're doing a port and they're like, hey, you can get 120 hertz out of this.
While
no
we're
problem.
in here.
Yeah, we're already doing all this work to change shit or make it work. Look, 120 hertz, and then Obsidian goes, oh shit, cool. Let's get that in the Xbox version too, and then they accidentally bug it out so it doesn't activate. That's all that was, but people lost their shit. It's just once you start having to zoom in, I'm out. I know they mostly do it on Digital Foundry for people because they say people watching their phones all the time, and I get it. But if you don't notice it full screen on your computer until they zoom in, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. No one's gonna ever notice, ever.
I don't care most of the time. Last thing in the news to bring this episode of Headlines to a triumphant close.
Before we do a lot
Nintendo.
of
Yeah, Nintendo are doing what Nintendo usually do, which is not really play ball with anybody else except themselves. Samus, the lead character in the Metroid series, did not appear in Epic's Fortnite game because Nintendo wanted her to be exclusive to the Switch. So you remember when Kratos appeared from God of War for PlayStation? We had Master Chief for Xbox. Samus would have been a nice Nintendo character to throw in there, but not so, because Nintendo said no. This was from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Court documents published the following year as part of a legal battle between Epic and Apple revealed that the Fortnite maker had also wanted to introduce a skin based on Metroid mascot Samus, but why one never materialized or hadn't been confirmed until these came out. Nintendo declined Epic's offer to include the character in the game. They got really hung up on their characters showing up on platforms that weren't their platforms. Well, like Nintendo, come on, get with the times.
The whole point of the metaverse of Fortnite is that everything's everywhere all at once. Like it's all just there. You can have Marcus Phoenix in a group with Kratos playing on Switch. They don't, like, the other companies don't give a shit. So Nintendo has always been like the most precious with its IP, outside of when they were like forced to let Philips use it for some reason, I forget, and they made those horrendous Zelda games on the CDI. They're probably still hurting from that. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, as a corporation, they're like, never again. Never again.
That really burned us. Yeah. Maybe. But that's about it. You know, the only thing I would say to you, Jesse, now, as I tee you up to just pimp us out before we close things out, is what have we got coming to XboxEra.com this week, my friend?
Things that haven't already come but are coming and just went live was Nick Mechanico's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review. Went live the moment we did, of course, because everything has a 10 a.m. Yeah, everything has the same friggin' embargo time, 10 a.m. So that one's live. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants arcade game. It's just that with a little bit more added in. It's balls hard because it's an arcade game and they want you to spend quarters, and they did not really make it that much easier unless you set it to, I think, the easiest mode, which Nick immediately did. But then he did beat it on normal and hard because it was the only way he could make shit. Because he had to, there was new content and he wanted to see it. To actually do his
Fair enough.
Because, I mean, the game was an hour long. So, you know.
I'll put the link in the chat for those interested.
Also,
He had a month.
Wandering Dutch and them are doing their indie showcase again. He just started announcing all that. You can see it on his Twitter. The exact time and date for it, I apologize, I don't remember. I think it's pretty soon. And for us, I have Another Crab's Treasure hitting just before launch on Thursday, so somewhere around there, like always. And also on Thursday, whenever it goes live, I'll be playing a whole bunch of Fallout 4's new patch. Just check it out. And we'll be back, of course, on Thursday for headlines once again.
Yep. So just to remind all the newcomers here, because we appreciate there's a lot of people watching on Twitter.
485 total.
Never did, which is kind of crazy to me, but I get it. People live in certain app pockets. XboxEra is a independent publication, all right, funded and supported directly by our community, and we're just gaming peoples, that really enjoy playing on the Xbox platform.
Journalists. We didn't go to school for journalism.
We didn't go to school for journalism. That is true. But we are extremely humbled and grateful to be empowered to kind of bring more appropriate coverage, I think. Less slanted coverage. There's no clickbait, no SEO chasing that you'll see. And we make videos pretty much for every review we do, more or less. Like, you can be pretty confident. And yeah, it's a pleasure to do these shows. We do headlines every Tuesday and Thursday. We have the mainline podcast every Saturday, as well as exclusive shows and stuff from our patrons. And there's more to come because we're growing, baby. We're growing. And this year we've been invited to Summer Games Fest. And we're going to be heading out to Gamescom.
We know we are allowed in Gamescom finally.
Yeah, we got our press accreditation yesterday. So, well, most of us. Some of us are still waiting.
Yeah,
because they didn't fill things in.
Well, plus it felt weird taking a picture of my postcard or my friggin' whatever it's called, not postcard, passport. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to really put this in digital form, but whatever. I guess I have to.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. Don't worry about it.
For you guys, yeah, like in America, America's really big, and it's like 50 little countries trying to figure out how they do everything at the same time, because then they don't want the federal coming in and just lording over them. But we also are going to, at some point, I can't remember when, it's probably going to end up being like a friggin'
the 9th and 10th, I think, of May. The 9th into the 10th.
Yeah, so
a 24-hour subathon.
Thursday, May 9th, we'll be doing a 24-hour subathon, which will call it a subathon. It's just focused on trying to make enough money to be able to go to Los Angeles and Cologne, Germany. So it's going to be a big old donation focus drive.
Giveaways.
Yeah, I have
all sorts of stuff.
Had a lot of luck getting games for giveaways from companies. We'll do a live headlines in the middle of it because it'll be a Thursday, so why not? Maybe we'll. Yeah, it's going to be a long one. So May 9th, Thursday, starting probably real early U.S. time. So, like, I don't know, 7 a.m.-ish, because that'd be noon for you. About the earliest I can go. Yeah, and then we'll just go as long as we can, go all through the night. Like, I can stay up a long time. By the time I'm ready to take a nap, you can just hop back on, and I put it on you, and away you go. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll be pushing hard because it's going to be really expensive to go to both Los Angeles and Cologne, Germany. But it's going to be really worth it to do all the networking, get all the preview, and try and grow and be bigger and better. So I cannot wait.
Bring you guys the coverage we want to bring you, basically. So yeah, fingers crossed. But we'll give you more details and updates on that in the days ahead. Mm-hmm. I will not be around this weekend on the Mainline podcast. Yeah, it's a bit of. I feel like I don't like it. I'm not around this weekend. I know I'm gonna pop in. Maybe I might pop in on the weekend after, and then I'm definitely there for that week, and then I'm turning 40.
And the missus is yanking you away, which I understand.
And I didn't know about it. To be fair to me, I had no idea that
but
she
I was
made
very
any
nice
of
and
these
didn't
plans.
spoil it.
You didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now she doesn't understand. I don't like my birthday. It's never a nice time, especially this one. I don't want to be 40. You know, I'm hung up on it, man. I am hung up on it. But hey ho, it is what it is. To the chat, to our YouTube members, to our patrons, to everybody on Twitter and all the other platforms we're streaming to.
500 people watching.
Amazing. Thanks for coming and hanging out. The audio version of this will be online as soon as
Pretty
we can
quickly,
for all of our Patreon members.
And I'll get it all time stamped up.
And we'll do the timestamp straight away. For those of you that are just tuning in and thinking, what's this? Why haven't I watched this before? Well, you can rewind the clock and find out. Until next time, we'll see you on Thursday. Stay tuned, play games, have fun. We'll see you soon. Ciao for now.